Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. I am here with Jamie Ballard and Thomas Aldridge, Ron and Harry, or rather Harry and Ron, in the West End production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. While that is on hiatus, like all theater, they have been keeping busy working with Shakespeare at Home on a radio play edition of The Tempest. New episodes read every Thursday. There's a new one tonight. And it's an American-based company. It's based in New Jersey. And I'm so interested in finding out how you guys hook up with them. How did you come to them? Did you know them, or did they come to you?
Shall I start, Tom?
I think you should start, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
So Sean Haggerty, who created Shakespeare he and I went to drama school together at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in the UK. And we did 2 years together training as actors. We graduated, and then Sean, who is from West Virginia, moved back to the States and to New York, and has been a director, a teacher at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York, and then recently, a couple of years ago, set up his own theatre company, primarily to do Shakespeare, I think originally, and they did Hamlet last year, and we're going to do the Scottish play this year, but obviously that was sort of stymied somewhat by the COVID crisis, and so Sean was like, well, what can we do? I want to take Shakespeare to the people, and so he set up this Shakespeare at Home audio company to make Shakespeare accessible to everyone for free on the internet, and he very, very kindly approached me a few months ago to do Richard II, which we did. I think we recorded that in August, June, July, and then we did that, and that was great fun with a mainly American cast. But with a few British actors from our old Vic days, and my girlfriend Charlotte East was in that as well, and then Sean very kindly again asked me if I would do The Tempest, and I was like, absolutely, and I said, can I recommend someone, because he wanted me to play Stefano. I said, can I recommend someone to play Trinculo? And he's like, of course. And so I said, you need to see Tom Aldridge, and the rest is, as they say, history. So yeah, tag team Tom.
Yeah, so that's how I got involved. I knew Jamie was doing Richard II, and he said he'd had a really great and exciting but interesting experience, because I think you had to you did a lot of it in your wardrobe, didn't you, with the duvet over your head, you were saying.
That's who I am now.
Exactly, absolutely. There it is. So Jamie, put me in touch with the brilliant Sean Haggerty, and we had a little Zoom call, and then it all went on from there, really, and I was just thrilled to be involved. As Jamie said, it's to be involved in something that's so accessible to everyone, is really exciting, and especially in these times where people are kind of craving all forms of entertainment, and for something like this to be so accessible to people, I think is just really exciting.
Yeah. Tell me about the recording process. Did you guys like record it like you were doing like a script read of a play, or were you just like recording your part, like saying lines and then
Yeah, kind of. We split up into scenes. So we obviously we were all separate in our own homes, but we were very much it felt like we were in the room together with whoever you would be on stage with in that scene. You know, for example, Jamie and I and Jonathan, who plays Caliban, we had an absolute ball just, you know, rehearsing these scenes, and then when it came to the actual recording of it, you know, it was just us and the creative team, really. So it was kind of yeah, in some ways it was very similar to how you would do it on stage in terms of rehearsing it. But no, we didn't record it in a kind of big table read fashion, although we did do a really lovely read through of the whole play with the entire cast one evening, didn't we, Jamie? And that was absolutely wonderful. It was, you know, the entire cast just all sat in our garages and living rooms and wardrobes in Jamie's case, and you know, all over the world, you know, in Australia, loads of different parts of America, and you know, Jamie and I in different parts of the UK. That was a really special evening. I really enjoyed that.
Does doing something like this like satisfy what you're missing about doing live theater?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was asked to do Richard II, I was having a sort of a virtual Zoom evening drink with Sean one night, and he said, I've also got a proposition for you, Richard II. You want to do it? I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to. We both fell in love with the play at drama school, and we both did different speeches from it as audition speeches. And I was like, yeah, great. And I think this was like early May, and I said, when do you want to record it? And he was like, sort of mid-May. It's like, well. And I sort of yeah, I virtually myself. But it was. I said, I need a bit more time, mate. And so it was just great to have something to get up in the morning, to know that I had to spend, you know, go to my desk and sit down with, you know, Richard II and with my Shakespeare lexicon and all this kind of stuff, and just work through the play, work out what's happening, what I'm saying. And it was just so nice to have a goal every day, and to exercise the grey matter. And then when it came to, we had a few rehearsals on each scene, it was just so nice to be engaging with actors again, and with Sean, the director, and you know, it was just wonderful to go, okay, let's try that again and think about this. And me working with this wonderful actor in LA playing Bolingbroke, Derek, and I was, oh wow, this is fantastic. And you know, he's there in, you know, sort of you know, mid-morning, and it's me sort of late afternoon, and he's got his dog there, and it was so lovely to re-engage with an incredible play, to meet new actors, to work with dear friends and actors I've worked with before, and that's what I mean. Being an actor is, when it's going well, it's one of the best jobs. It's probably the best job in the world. I know that going into the Palace Theatre every day to work with Tom and the gang is just, I mean, it does not get better than that. And so there is something that is fed by logging on to Zoom and going, right, let's have a crack at this scene and see where it goes. And I mean, it's been Sean. I cannot thank him enough, and the whole Shakespeare app people, that team, for allowing us an opportunity to you know, do what we love again. It's
absolutely.
You know, I cannot thank them enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, to work with Tom again, I mean, my God, I mean, it's like we just had an absolute ball doing these scenes. I mean, as you know, the Tempest, David, you know, we're playing these characters that are, you know, they're loving life, and so it's, you know, so yeah, Tom, I'll hand over to you, mate.
No, absolutely. As Jamie said, you know, it was so lovely to have something to get your teeth into, and but not just on a creative side. You know, it was so lovely to be creative again, but also, you know, it was that kind of social side of being in a virtual room with actors again. You know, we're a funny old breed, actors, and there's something about rehearsals that I've always loved, and just that kind of the discussion and the banter that you have, you know, between actors and directors and creating stuff and trying things, and especially when you're with people that you trust, that you know, I can try something and get it wrong, and you know, I trust these people implicitly, and it was just a lovely environment to be in, you know, especially because we were right slap bang in the middle of lockdown at the time. It was really lovely to kind of be back in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
We got a question from someone that's watching this in Singapore at 3:30.
Oh, wow.
I saw you guys in Chris Child a couple of times. Hopefully it was the right Jamie. And it was amazing. How was preparing to play Shakespeare figures different from or similar to being Harry and Ron?
Well, I mean, Jamie, I'm sure will say as well, playing Harry and Ron, particularly in Cursed Child, it comes with so many other things before you even get to even thinking about speaking any lines. You know, on our very first day of rehearsals, we're kind of on stage, which for actors is really rare. Usually you don't get to see the stage for, you know, until sort of maybe a week, 2 weeks before you open, really.
Right.
With us, as soon as you open a show, you know, like that, as soon as you get into rehearsing a show like that, you're kind of told where to stand so that you don't die, basically. So it's a completely different beast. It's a completely different way of preparing. But then in saying that, preparing for Cursed Child is a completely different way of rehearsing and preparing for any other play or show I've ever done before anyway. So yeah, vastly different. I'm sure Jamie would agree.
Absolutely. I mean, it's yeah, the Cursed Child is an experience I have never had before, and I doubt I'll ever have again. But the sort of the weight of expectation and responsibility of taking on these characters that are so known and loved, like Harry and Ron, and it was terrifying. And in the same way, when you do a Shakespeare character, people have opinions of what they think that character is like. You know, people go to see a production of Hamlet, you know, I think wrongly, expecting to see what they imagine Hamlet to be, as opposed to going, right, this is a new play, and I'm going to treat it as a new play and see what these people have done with it. And as a result, I think very often, and people go, yeah, I didn't like it because it, and they go down this route of why it wasn't what they wanted it to be, as opposed to going, oh wow, that was really exciting. So there is the weight of expectation with Shakespeare, and there's the weight of expectation with Harry Potter and that world, so I'm
just going to interrupt Jamie there, because
yeah.
I'm going to say something that I know he won't say himself. Just while we're on the subject of Hamlet, Jamie played Hamlet, and it's one of my biggest regrets. I never got to see him do it. It was a long time before I knew him. And Jamie was in a list. Was it the Guardian or the Independent? What paper was it, Jamie?
It was the Guardian, yeah.
The top 10 greatest Hamlets of all time. Jamie Ballard was in the top 10. Isn't that amazing? And I got to do Shakespeare with him. So this is, you know, there you go.
Oh, buddy.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. I know that you would never let anyone know that.
Oh, mate. But it is. Thanks, God. Why I love you, mate. But yeah, it's a weird old beast, you know.
Yeah.
You know, taking on these characters, be it Shakespeare or incredibly well-known and loved characters in literature. But you've just got to go, right, what am I trying to do to the person I'm talking to?
Right.
What am I trying to achieve? What's this relationship? And these are the words I've got. Right, let's go through it. And as opposed to going, right, this is Harry Potter. And it's like, no, okay, yeah, he happens to be called Harry Potter, but he's just trying to get through this. This is what he's trying to achieve. And let's do it. And then hopefully, at the end of the day, when you walk out, people will go, yeah, that's that's the Harry I know and love, and or that's the Ron I know and love, and yeah, it's all good. You know, you can't please everybody, but just try and tell the story as best we can.
My last question for both of you guys is, the show's been shut down till March. I've last read that it's probably not going to reopen until early next year. What do you guys miss most about doing it night after night?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things I miss most about doing it. I mean, on stage, there's a section of the show which I never thought I would miss because it's so utterly exhausting. It's a section that well, I think we could talk about it now because the whole keep the secrets thing is not. But yeah, there's a section that involves Polyjuice, and it's utterly exhausting because we're all kind of playing different people for a while. But it's so much fun, and I kind of get to be trapped in a little, very confined space with Jamie for a while as well, just before it all kicks off. And it's stuff like that. It's, you know, it's the onstage stuff, but it's the camaraderie. We've got a really special cast who, you know, and I desperately miss all of them. I miss sharing a dressing room with this guy as well. And yeah, I could. There's a list of, you know, as long as my arm, of things that I desperately miss about doing that show, and I desperately look forward to doing again at some point.
Yeah. I think this show is incredible. So I'm getting pins and needles in my feet. This show is incredible, and it has unbelievable epic nature. I mean, mind-blowing magic and effects. It's an incredibly wonderful story. The themes that are dealt with are just so huge. But then you also have these wonderful scenes between two friends like Harry and Ron, or Ginny and Harry, or, you know, and it's just, I miss looking into these incredible actors' eyes and just sharing a moment, you know, and that just feeds my soul, doing that kind of stuff, and knowing that we're taking people on this journey, and I really miss that. I miss that. That's why I went into acting, was to be part of a team, and it is the most incredible team on Cursed Child. Actors, stage management, you know, I watched two of the stage management team calling the show the beginning of part 2 not long before lockdown hit, and I had no idea. You know, I thought, you know, I was at that, I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but at that time, at the beginning of part 2, I'm sat in my dressing room for a little bit, and I would hear, you know, lights up on part 2, and be like, oh, great. And I literally thought that the stage management went, okay, and LXQ go, sound go, music go, and I thought that was it. You know,
Then you see what they
do. Then I see them calling the show, and I'm like, oh my God. And I don't think anyone on that stage knew just how much that deputy stage manager was just, it's unbelievable.
It's non-stop, isn't it? It's literally
non-stop. It's doing a dance, you know, literally beating things out and going, right, go, prep, go. I'm like, this is insane. And I had no idea. And they're so humble. They don't talk about that. And we're out there going, yeah, I'm a wizard and I'm really cool. and you know, I'm getting all the applause. And it's like, no, they're the people who are just totally smashing it. So yeah, I'm, you know, I miss on stage, backstage, green room, dressing room with this guy, you know, and hopefully we'll be back there very soon.
Absolutely.
But until then, we have the Tempest, which people watch.
Absolutely, and that's what was so, you know, that's why it was so lovely having a taste of that again with the Tempest. You know, getting to have that camaraderie, and that being part of a team, and being creative with people, and laughing with like-minded people, and that's why this was so lovely to kind of just get a taste of that again, and yeah, to something to get our teeth into. It was just wonderful, and I was absolutely thrilled to be part of it. Yeah, and similarly, as Jamie was just saying, the sound guys, what they did on our production of the Tempest to capture this sound. You know, we're all just sat there with our microphones, and we're just kind of speaking as, you know, however we want, really. And they're doing all matter of things their end to capture this sound on the other side of the world, you know, battling. At one point we were doing it, we had a full, well, there was the hurricane that went all over the world, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That's right in the middle of when we were recording this, and our sound engineers on the Tempest were battling all of those things. And yeah, similarly with you know, how they managed to capture this sound. And if you heard episode 1, you know, the quality is utterly brilliant. You know, and we're all sat at home in our garages and our front rooms, and, you know, just being actors going, and these incredible sound engineers are working their magic.
And we can all hear it wherever podcasts are found. It's really great.
But what's great fun is that we do these scenes, like Tom, Jonathan, myself,
Yeah.
with Sean, we do these scenes. And then at the end of the recording of all the scenes, there is, and it happened on Richard II as well, we all get together to do a Foley session. Where, okay, we need you to be sort of, you know, to be jumping off a ship. You go like, you know, or like you're sort of falling down drunk.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just you got to make up these noises, and we're just there, all of us, just in tears of laughter.
Absolutely.
You know, just making these ridiculous noises, and it's just like, you know, on Richard II going, okay, now you've got to, you know, stop your horse. Like, oh, there you are. Come on. And it's just like, this is brilliant.
Gents, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure talking to you, David. Thanks so much.
Such a pleasure, David.
I hope we get to meet in person one day. And,
Absolutely.
Be well.
You too, mate. I hope your trip to London happens soon.
Me too.
The one that you had to cancel.
Yeah, me too. We'll see.
Let us know.
Yeah, I will. I'll drop you a line.
Lovely to meet you. Lots of love.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care, man. Yeah, lots of love. Be safe.
Bye.